What's happening, y'all? This is Ant once again here at GV headquarters, aka my garage gym. Gonna make some farmers carries today. I've been needing to get me some farmers carries, and I refuse to buy the metal ones, so I decided to make some nice, pretty wood ones. Customize them, all of that great stuff. You can do it too at home. It's not that expensive, and it actually comes out to a little bit cheaper than the ones you might buy at Rogue or Titan Finish. Check it out. So, first thing we're going to go through is our tools. So, got a power sander, because you definitely want the wood to be smooth. You don't want any friction on the legs. We got a 1.5-inch hole saw and a 2-inch hole saw. Not sure which one we're going to need quite yet, but one of those will get used. We have a 1.5-inch paddle bit. We have a bit extension, and then this one is a 5/8 paddle bit as well. Alright, those are for drilling all of our holes into wood. Then we have, obviously, my drills. Not necessary to have two, but I have two, so I'm going to use two. We have our wood glue, our hacksaw to cut our all thread. We have a 3/4-inch bit and ratchet. Also a 3/4-inch combination wrench. Tape measure, pencil, and of course, for the finishing touches, spray paint. Now we're going to go over our materials. This is a 4x6 cut into half. It was 8 feet long, cut it in half, so now I have two pieces at 4 foot. Had them do it at the Home Depot, of course, so I didn't have to do it at home. Then over here we have our 1.5-inch galvanized pipe nipples. These two are for our plate loads, and this 1-inch is for our handles. We have two L brackets. We have a 10-foot piece of 1/2-inch all thread. Ten-foot stick of 1/2-inch all thread. And then, of course, we have our nuts and washers, a bag of 25 each. And then, of course, the Big Daddy miter saw. It's not really Big Daddy, but it does the job. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to make our cut to angle the piece of wood so that the pipe can get drilled in and threaded into. Alright, so what I've done here is I've put my piece of pipe to the corner of the 4x6, and now I have a torpedo level directly up against it, just like that. Got the right angle. Take this away, draw my line. Now I'm going to come down to the other end and do the exact same thing. Now, notice how I got a little ugly mark right here in the wood? Now, what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to make sure that, for the most part, that part is off, just by making my normal cut as I did on the other side. Boom. See how that's going to go away? Our line is right there. Boom. Be nice and smooth when we're done cutting. Now we're done with this. Set this right back over here. Now it's time to line up our piece of wood for cutting. I was about to say I got it on the first shot, it was already set up, but nope. You want to make sure when you're cutting at angles, you want to make sure the top of your line and the bottom of your line matches up with the saw blade. A little more of an angle. That's it right there. Now that I have my angle, I'm gonna anchor this bad boy down.
And we gonna start selling.
Alright, so now that we got our boards cut, check it out. Two nice even pieces, exactly how you want it. Because you want to make sure that the Farmers Carry is nice and balanced. Alright, so but we're wondering why we made these cuts. So we're going to put 1 1.5 inch nipples in here, and then we're going to put another one on the other end, and the cuts on the bottom is so that you're not dropping it on the corner whenever you're doing the Farmers Carry, because when you're going and you drop it, you don't want it to be on the corner of the wood, causing the wood to split. Alright, so next what we're going to do, we're going to start our sanding so that there's a nice smooth surface to rub up against the leg. Alright, so now that we're nice and sanded up, got the sides all smoothed out, next we're going to start drilling holes. Alright, so next we have to line ourselves up for our holes. So from edge of cut, we got 41.5 inches. We're going to bring that in half, so that'll be 20 3/4. So we're going to put our tape measure right here. 20 3/4. Make our nice mark. Boom. Nice straight edge. Get a good line across. Boom. Then what we're going to do, we're going to measure out our piece of pipe. Should be 8 inches. It's 8 inches on the nose, so obviously half of 8 inches is 4 inches. Make a mark here. Then we're going to make these line up just like so. Boom. Now, just so happen that these L brackets are magnetic. Who'd have thought? So we literally can set that here, set this one here. Now it doesn't want to do it. Better work. There it goes. Ah! Oh, it's down here too. That works. Boom. Now that we have alright, so now that we got our center line lined up on our pipe and on our piece of wood, now it's time to make sure that we're lined up in the center of the board with our brackets. And since the board is 3.5 inches wide, because obviously a 2x4 isn't really 2x4 or 4x6, whatever this is. So 1.75 inches, that's lined up pretty good. And that one is too. Now we're gonna measure from this edge to our cut edge. That's about 12.5. Same thing on this side. 12.5. Perfect. Now we're going to take our pencil. And we're just going to trace out our circles so we can drill our holes. And 4. Boom. 4 holes, 4 rods. Now it's time to drill. All right, cut. So, for our next holes, we're going to use the same pipe. We're going to roughly find the center. Make a line. All 4 sides. Pretty much make a whole outline on that side. And we're going to come down. We'll do the same thing on this side. Just like that. Now we're going to make just a rough estimate on the center line for both of these. Boom, just like that. Then we're going to take our 1.5 inch drill bit. And our drill. Inch and a half paddle bit, and I've already drew a line on my paddle bit to know how deep I need to go. It's roughly about 1.25 inches. Put the blade in the center.
A few moments later. One eternity later.
All right, so as you can see here, we've done our woodwork. We've gotten the recess holes done for our underbelly to make sure that we're hitting only wood, not the hardware. We've blown out the 2-inch hole so that we can get our plate holders on there off of both sides. And we've already cut our all thread, so now it's time to put this bad boy together. So we have our 4 6¼ inch pieces of all thread, and then we have our 1 9¼ inch piece of all thread, 10 nuts, 10 washers, our 3/4 inch combo wrench, our 3/4 inch socket, and of course our brackets, handle, and plate holders. Now it's time to put this bad boy together. So what we're going to start out with our 6¼ inch pieces of all thread. We're going to take them and let's flip this bad boy upside down. Oh, there goes my seat clamp. Grab a washer, and notice I'm only pushing it through up until just about the edge, and then just dropping it into the hole. And we're going to repeat the same process with the other 3. Now from here, we're just going to grab this bad boy, turn it on its side, push them all through, just like so. And notice how all of the nuts are now flat. Only thing that hits the ground is the wood. Turn it over, and now we got our threads through. And now it is time to mount the handle brackets. Now we've already measured, so slides on perfectly. Now this side was a little bit more of a headache, so it's not as aligned as I would like it to be, but boom, it still works. As long as it still works, it's all good. And we're going to throw our washers on. Boom. 2, 3, now I'm only doing these hand tight for now so that we can fit our actual handle in nice and easy. Slide that 9¼ inch piece of all thread through. And I just actually slid the brackets a little bit tighter together so that we're making sure we get a nice compression on each side of the 1-inch nipple. We've got plenty of thread outside. Oh yeah, this bad boy is magnetic. This makes it super dope. And we're gonna hand tighten handle on, just like that, and get it in position. Now me personally, I want my handle to be even with the top, so that's where I'm going to place mine. Now you can see that there is other holes down here. Now, if you don't have as big of a hand as I do, I got a 10-inch hand. And if I were to use that hole down here, obviously my knuckles would be dragging on the wood, so it's very uncomfortable. So I'm gonna keep mine up here and flush with the top of the L bracket. Next, we're gonna tighten up said handle. This way, we're pulling all our tension on the handle. Make sure my line on the pipe matches up the line on the board. Ooh, this bad boy is on here nice and tight right now. But, of course, we still have to tighten up the bottom part of our L bracket. For that, we're going to turn it over on its side. Didn't need that anymore. We're going to put our combo on one side. Let's go on the other. And we're just going to crank it. Oh yeah. Getting it nice and tight. Want a little bit more thread at the top. So, once you thread at the top, thread at the bottom, all good.
Beautiful. This goes actually a little bit less at the top.
Perfectly. Pull it nice and tight together. Now notice the split in the wood. That's okay, because guess what? I got 2 half-inch pieces of all thread going straight through there. It's compressing it down. And also what I'm gonna do when we go to glue in our plate holders, I'm gonna put a little finger dab of the adhesive into this crack. And then once I paint it, you won't even be able to see it. And voila, handle assembled. All right, so next we're gonna put in our plate holders. We have our construction grade wood adhesive. We have our caulk gun, of course, nice hammer, wood block, putty knife, and of course, our plate holders. Now, this didn't go quite as planned. As far as the 2-inch hole, it's a little bit bigger than I would like it to be. So can't really use the threads, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna use our wood block and hammer, and we're just gonna tap it in nice and tight. And we're gonna take our wood glue adhesive, and we're just gonna fill this bad boy up. All right, so I just made a boo-boo. Really, I need to take this, and we're gonna put it all in the threads, just like so. Now we're gonna take our Loctite. We're gonna fill up the hole first. You want to fill up the hole first. This way we get adhesive on the inside, on the outside, and we're pretty much filling up the hole. Also want to put it on the threads as well. That way we're making a bond in between the threads, and it kind of simulates me actually threading it into the wood. Just like that. I use our putty knife. We're gonna smooth this out a little bit. Get the rest of that stuff right off of there. Then we're gonna jam it in the hole. Ugh. Just like that. And now we're gonna take our hammer and wood block. Do a couple taps in just like that. Take this guy. Smooth it all out. Smooth it all out. Now, notice how the adhesive is actually filling up all of those gaps from making that hole, so that when we paint it, you really won't see those bad boys. You'll just see a nice, decently finished edge. Oh. Now, if we take a look inside of there, notice how obviously there's adhesive in there. There it is. What I'm gonna start off by doing is taking a little bit of leftover I got on there. Use my finger, put it right on in there. Why waste it?
Roll this bad boy up. Oh, exact same process. Cut it. Oh, and those threads. And if you're doing this in summer, like I am, you want to move kind of quick. Due to the fact that the heat will make this stuff dry a hell of a lot quicker. Cat-like reflexes.
This one didn't get as much in there as I would like, so we're gonna put more in there. Four pump should do it. All right, so last but definitely not least, we're gonna make it aesthetically pleasing by spray painting it. Me personally, I have obviously my gains and veins. We're gonna spray this bad boy all blue. My other one's gonna be all black. And we're gonna get some custom decals, and we're gonna put one here, and on the other side as well. So, let's get started spraying. Now this is just regular standard Rust-Oleum spray paint. And I do a lot of spray painting, so I actually got a trigger and all of that good stuff for paint cans. This is Rust-Oleum, and it actually puts a protective coat over any metal parts. Not that this is going to be outside or exposed to the elements at all, but just in case. It might start raining while I'm doing farmers carries. It's not like it hasn't happened before. Like in my competition in Modesto. Can's empty. That means this video's over. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, and all of that great stuff. Holla at you later.